Moving into a new apartment is supposed to feel like a fresh start. For Min Hae, it felt more like surviving a small disaster. Boxes were everywhere. Some were stacked neatly against the walls, but most were not. Bubble wrap covered half the living room floor. But none of that was the real problem. The real problem was the bookshelf. Min Hae stood in the middle of his new living room staring at the tall wooden shelf. He pushed it again. Nothing. He pushed harder. Still nothing. The shelf didn't even move a centimeter. Min Hae stepped back and ran a frustrated hand through his messy black hair. "I refuse to be." Defeated by a piece of furniture, he muttered. After nearly an hour of fighting the bookshelf, he gave up. He grabbed his keys. He stepped out of apartment 708 to get some air. The hallway was quiet, just as he walked toward the elevator. The door to apartment 707 suddenly opened, and someone stepped out. Min Hae froze. He recognized that face instantly. Chae Sun Woo, leader of the world-famous K-pop group Nova. Sun Woo's face had appeared on massive billboards, but seeing him in person felt unreal. Even without stage lights, he was breathtaking. Sun Woo was tall and broad-shouldered with a natural charisma that made it impossible not to look at him. His dark hair fell slightly across his forehead in a relaxed style that made him look casual and incredibly handsome. But his eyes were the most striking thing about him. Deep, dark, and filled with a quiet intensity. Yet up close, Min Hae noticed something different. Sun Woo looked tired. There were faint shadows under his eyes. The bright, confident idol wasn't there. Instead, he looked like someone who hadn't slept properly in weeks. Sun Woo pressed the elevator button silently. The doors opened. They stepped inside together. The small space suddenly felt very small. Min Hae tried not to stare, but it was impossible not to glance sideways. Without makeup and stage lights, Sun Woo looked even more attractive. Just before the elevator reached the ground floor, Sun Woo suddenly spoke. His voice was deep and slightly raspy. "Are you moving in?" Min Hae blinked. "Yes." Sun Woo nodded slowly. 708. Min Hae nodded again. The elevator doors opened. Sun Woo stepped out, but paused. He turned slightly. "I saw you earlier," he said calmly. Min Hae's stomach dropped. With the bookshelf, Min Hae's face turned bright red. "I can handle it," Min Hae said quickly. Sun Woo raised one eyebrow. "Didn't look like it." Then he added casually, "Do you want help?" Min Hae stared at him. Chae Sun Woo, one of the biggest idols in Korea, was offering to help him move furniture. 10 minutes later they were standing inside Min Hae's apartment. Sun Woo studied the bookshelf like it was a puzzle. Then he rolled up his sleeves. "Okay," he said. "You take that side." Min Hae obeyed automatically. 1, 2, 3. They lifted together. Their hands brushed briefly. A tiny spark shot up Min Hae's arm. His heart jumped. With one final push, the shelf slid perfectly into place. Min Hae sighed dramatically. "You just saved my life." Sun Woo smiled. It was small, but it completely transformed his face. "Glad I could help." Before leaving, he paused at the door. "Maybe when you're settled, we could get coffee." Min Hae blinked. "Coffee? With Chae Sun Woo?" "Yeah," he said softly. "I'd like that." And just like that, everything changed. Over the next few weeks, coffee turned into a routine. They met in quiet cafes, where nobody would recognize Sun Woo. But Min Hae began seeing the real man behind the fame. Sun Woo was funny, gentle, and surprisingly shy. But more than anything, he was lonely. One night, Sun Woo knocked on Min Hae's door looking exhausted. Min Hae opened it immediately. Sun Woo walked inside and collapsed on the couch. "I'm so tired," he whispered. Min Hae sat beside him and gently wrapped an arm around his shoulders. "You don't have to be strong all the time." Sun Woo leaned his forehead against Min Hae's shoulder. For the first time in a long time, he allowed himself to breathe. Then he looked up. Their eyes met. And slowly, Sun Woo leaned forward. Their lips touched. A quiet, soft, hesitant kiss, but full of emotion. And from that moment, they were no longer just neighbors. But their relationship had to remain secret. hidden between apartments 707 and 708. Because in the world of K-pop, scandals could destroy careers, and secrets rarely stay hidden forever. One afternoon, Sun Woo arrived home with someone. Min Hae saw them in the hallway. The man standing beside Sun Woo was strikingly handsome, Kang Ji Hoon. Main dancer of Nova, Ji Hoon looked between them slowly. Then he smiled, but the smile didn't reach his eyes. "So," he said calmly, "you must be the neighbor." Min Hae felt something cold in his voice. Sun Woo instinctively stepped slightly closer to Min Hae. Ji Hoon noticed. His gaze darkened. Later that night, Ji Hoon confronted Sun Woo privately. "You're risking everything," Ji Hoon said. Sun Woo stayed silent. Ji Hoon's voice softened. "You promised me once." Sun Woo finally spoke. That was before. Ji Hoon's expression tightened. "And him?" Sun Woo didn't hesitate. "He's different." Ji Hoon looked toward Min Hae across the room. Something dangerous flickered in his eyes, but instead of anger, something else appeared. Understanding. After a long moment, Ji Hoon sighed. "Just don't let the company find out," he muttered. Sun Woo blinked in surprise. Ji Hoon smirked slightly. "I'm jealous, not heartless." Then he walked away. Months passed. Their secret relationship continued quietly, hidden between late-night dinners, stolen kisses, and soft laughter in the hallway. And for the first time in his life, Sun Woo felt peace. One evening, Sun Woo stood on the apartment balcony beside Min Hae. The city lights glittered below them. Sun Woo took his hand. "I don't want to hide forever," he said softly. Min Hae squeezed his fingers. "We'll figure it out together." Sun Woo smiled. Not the idle smile fans knew, but a real one. Warm, happy, and completely in love. Because sometimes, the most unexpected neighbors become the most important people in your life. And sometimes, love finds you exactly where you least expect it, right next door.